Fear.
Guys, have you ever heard of the Leviathan?
No, I'm not religious at all.
It's all Greek to you.
So the Leviathan, it's often cited in conjunction with the land monster, the behemoth, which was representative of Earth, and the air monster, Ziz. That's Z-I-Z.
Ziz.
So this is a ancient creature. It plays into its sort of representation also in the Satanic Bible, and that was published in 1969 by Anton LaVey. It was emblematic of the water element and the direction of the west.
Is that the same thing as a hippopotamus? It's a behemoth?
Was often mistaken in modern times or misinterpreted as a hippopotamus, often as a crocodile as well.
Oh. Like a mini behemoth.
Right.
Yeah, mini behemoth.
Little tiny behemoth.
Like a minibus.
Yeah, little cat bus. The book, the Satanic Bible, the book also names the Leviathan as one of the 4 crown princes of hell. It's almost ironic, its association with the water element. Usually this symbolizes something of life and creation in Satanism, and it's in stark contrast with its reputation in history as perhaps one of the greatest destructive forces in all of nature, so much so that it threatens the very existence of the state of the world.
So this is a water or land deity?
So this is a water deity.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's a water element. It's often, sources would regard it as one of the 7 princes of hell as well. And each of these was representative of the 7 deadly sins. Specifically with the Leviathan, it was in association with the envy sin.
I love how delightfully, like, Pokemon Christianity gets, like, at a certain point, where they're just like, yeah, the saint of, you know, like doing cool shit at night on a Tuesday.
Right. Like, end of days, definitely, yeah.
Saint of Cece's, I choose you.
Right, exactly. Anyway, go ahead, sorry.
No, it's very true, though. Like, very early Bible, very late Bible. Things get a little bit weird. It's like when you're waking up and you're falling asleep, things get a little wonky.
Right.
So, what exactly is the Leviathan? It is not a cryptid. This is very, very important. It has more resemblance to a demigod or an old demon or a creature beyond human comprehension.
So it's unfathomable.
Yes, something almost akin to that of H.P. Lovecraft's creatures, these ancient ones or the old ones. The term, the name itself, it has roots in Ugaritic.
You convinced me.
The Chronicles of Ugaritic.
Ugaritic.
Is that like Sanskrit?
No, this is
like
sort of
Sanskrit?
Northwestern Proto-Semitic languages. So think Middle East, think North Africa, and the depiction of the creature as well as the root stems directly from their legends of the creature Lotan. The etymology of the name is a root and a suffix, and it translates roughly to twine, to join, and also wreathed, twisted in folds, or one that would fold in upon itself, respectively.
Was it the folding dimension?
Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So,
damn.
Well played. Points.
Ouroboros,
Wow.
perhaps that's how it's pronounced. But yes, typically it was thought to dwell in the Mediterranean Sea and the waters of North Africa. So there are many legends in ancient religions where the creature with its appearances has varying conflicts with deities, and the defeats at the hands of, say, Hadad in the Baal cycle, or at the defeat of Yahweh himself in the Proto-Semitic cultures.
Got him.
Yahweh.
So this goes from Pokemon to WWE at this point.
The Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yahweh was never spelt. It was always YHWH, correct?
YAHWEH is sometimes acceptable. There was never ever
never
agreed
spelt out,
upon
no.
spelling. Yes, it's very hard to pin down. And this
Yahweh,
was
my
actually originally a thunder and rain god, and then became also the Proto-Christian god Yahweh, where it was the creator of the universe, as
Also,
opposed to one of many.
It also goes back to you should never know the true name of
The
God.
true name of God, correct. But the depiction of the Leviathan is definitely agreed upon that it was some sort of sea serpent of an incredible destructive force and an unfathomable points size. So
Everybody points at each other.
Yeah.
Points for everybody.
It is so large, in fact, that, quote, no single eyewitness can describe the beast from head to tail, end quote. Yohanan Bar Napacha describes the beast's size in this quote: once we went in a ship and saw a fish which put its head out of the water. He had horns upon which was written, I am one of the meanest creatures that inhabit the sea. I am 300 miles in length, and entered this day into the jaws of the Leviathan.
And that's what the horn said?
No, that inscribed upon the horns of the creature was that quote.
Gotcha.
That's insane.
He's branded with his own
goes back to branding.
stats.
You know, he's got a PR firm. He pays them very well, so they better do their damn job.
That's
Yeah,
great.
for sure.
So other physical attributes, they almost make the beast out to be a dragon of sorts. It boasts the ability to spew forth a fire or heat so great from its belly and out of its mouth that the sea itself would boil. About its body, just by being near it, would cause the sea to boil.
Sucks to be near
So
him.
lowland boil, like a
Like a roiling
Some
sort of
corn, potatoes.
what you want to make a
so
proper
good.
ramen.
like some okra or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Leviathan possess a rank odor as well, in the extreme. So foul and strong that, quote, if he would put his head into paradise, no living creature could endure the odor of him, end quote.
Phallijunkst.
Putrid
fear.
So essentially, the scent is a poison that slays all whom come into contact with it. The serpent also has scales in double rows across the entirety of its body. They are layered, and each is stronger than the next, and they are larger than the shield of any man. They line its belly with the sharp edges of broken pottery or glass.
Interesting.
Why? Just to be dicks?
Just to be dicks, just to break it up, just to fuck shit up.
Right.
So, its eyes as well, they possess this brilliant light, that of the breaking dawn, and its fins shine with a fluorescence all of their own, and they leave a path of light in its wake.
This thing is insane.
This is beautiful, too.
So,
Right?
And terrifying.
It's almost like what... It's a terrifying giant dragon, sea
300
dragon.
miles of it.
yeah.
A testament to actually the very terrifying nature and power of the Leviathan comes from the old Hebrew myths. So the legend goes that originally there were two Leviathan created by God. There was a male and a female, but he somehow became aware of the fact because they were so badass that if they were to breed, if they were to mate and have offspring, the offspring would then devour the world.
Yeah. It would be bigger than them, right?
Yes, so he ended up slaying the female and taking the meat from her, and it's later foretold that in the end of days, it would be one of three creatures that's meat would be part of a feast for those who survive to make it to paradise.
So this stuff can really keep. It's shelf stable as a mother.
It's actually noted in some sites that it's salt cured, and that's why it keeps. You just pack it in some salt, it's good.
Ocean
Good to go.
salty. It's god meat. Like, you're going to be good.
Delicious god meat.
Right? Yeah.
That
And
shit's succulent.
then from the skin of the Leviathan, he created garments for Adam and Eve that were
They
known
could have
as...
crisped it up, and it'd be really delicious. You know,
yeah.
like
It's
under
too
the
tough.
broiler for a little bit.
It's too tough for that.
Should've
Under the
taken the-
broiler for a couple 100 years.
taking the cheeks out, which were each like at least 2 miles long. So the female was slayed, and the male, he was fixed, quote unquote, and
How
then
do you fix
left
a
alive.
snake?
Well, they give him the old snip snip.
You just chop off like the like
put a
down
zipper.
there, like last sixth of it. Like, yeah, that's probably it.
Is it dead? No, okay, good. We're good.
Is this where the BH starts? There you go. You're done.
Next week on Sea Snake Vasectomy. The Leviathan also appears several times, approximately 6 times, in the Bible. And that's including in the books of Job, Isaiah, and Psalms. It's portrayed sort of as a multi-headed sea serpent, almost akin to that of the Hydra from, was that Greek mythology?
Hercules?
Yes.
Leaning hydrant.
Tiamat in Dungeons and Dragons.
Tiamat is also makes reference to all other ancient religions
Of
that
course.
the Lotan myth plays into.
Also the Scylla from Greek myth.
Correct. Was it Scylla and Charybdis?
Charybdis.
Charybdis?
Charybdis.
In modern days, we see the appearance of Leviathans, or references to that, as just referring to any large sea creature. This sort of happened in, say, the mid-17th century with the publishing of Hobbes's book, Leviathan, in 1651. There's also references to Leviathans and Krakens, say, other large sea creatures in Lord Alfred Tennyson's The Kraken in 1830. His epic poem. This was a term also thrown on by Melville. In fact, in reference to a whale, in modern Hebrew, the term Leviathan just means whale.
Well, yeah, right.
Correct. So this could be also interpreted, scarily enough, as Satan himself as sort of a metaphor for Satan, and the seas, the deeps, quote unquote, being layers of existence at the very beginning of creation,
below ground.
All right, okay, so that's all well and good, Nick, but what did you see?